All right, good morning. So it is the 1st of April, a brand new week, a brand new day, a brand new month. We're heading into the next quarter of the year now. Um, Today being Friday, we are looking at the US CAD, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the dollar index, and also, any other news that I think there was some news about oil that happened overnight. So this is live for the Traders Club members, and if you are joining us or watching us on YouTube, this is recorded and uploaded later into the day. So if you haven't already, make sure you join the Traders Club. Links are in the comments below. With that, let's get started. Any information shared in this video is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of myself. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. Now, what we saw last night was on Forex Factory here, looking at the news, because we are looking at the CAD in focus. Just yesterday, we had the CAD GDP number. It was a 0% revised to 0.1, expected at 0.2, came out at a 0.2. We were talking about this during the session with the Traders Club members last night, where we're anticipating if it came out at a 0.2, or I was even thinking it might be a 0.4, that we will see that Canadian dollar getting stronger. But what happened was straight away after the news, we didn't actually see the CAD get stronger immediately, right? So I'll show you here what during the news we actually saw that at that point, the 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. period when news was being released, we actually saw the CAD come down, test the 1.25 level, and then bounce quite significantly towards the upside before overnight retracing, testing lower, but then now back to that 1.25 level and sitting at that 1.25 level. Several reasons because of that. We saw the eventual strength come into play for the CAD. One reason could be because of the GDP number, but we actually saw that natural gas storage dropped, moved a little bit to 26 billion, dropped a little bit there. But the news, let me just scroll through the news where they were talking about, lowering gas prices, which would impact the CAD, and Biden to announce largest oil reserve release in the US history. So CAD being very correlated to the oil prices, with the largest oil reserve to be released in US history, we're going to see prices for oil drop, right? So that actually had that impact on the Canadian dollar. And also, I think further down where Putin signed orders on gas trading rules. So, Putin wanted payment for gas to be done in rubles instead of dollars. So, to boost up their own economy there. That actually all came together to impact the US CAD. That's why we saw that volatility at 1.25, that spiked down before now that retracement back up. So quite a few news in terms of non-data related, but headlines, especially given the current conflict in the Russia-Ukraine border, leading up to the gas transactions or the gas prices that led to the volatility in the US CAD. But bear in mind that tonight we do have a lot of news to be released, which we went through already, but tonight we do have the non-farm payrolls for the US, looking like we might see a stronger dollar, and I'll show you why shortly with the dollar index. But the unemployment rate looking to go from a 3.8 to a 3.7. I'm thinking we might even see a 3.6 or 3.5 there. Average hourly earnings improving, so that inflation in terms of wages is increasing there from a 0 to a 0.4. So what this means is also that if I scroll back down to the news, Where was it? I just saw it just then. It was, let me find it. Yeah, well, 50 basis points from the Fed in May looks odds on, right? So it looks like it's going to be a really likely scenario that in May we're going to see that 50 basis points rate increase coming from the FOMC, which might most likely lead to that strengthening in the dollar through to May, but it might also lead to a bit of a priced-in scenario where, from 1st of April to May, to the FOMC meeting in May, everyone might be anticipating already that 50 basis point increase, which could be leading to that priced-in scenario. So with that, what else could we look out for on the CAD? Monday, nothing much. Tuesday, nothing on the CAD. Wednesday, Thursday, we have the FOMC meeting minutes on Thursday. And then the employment change and unemployment numbers for the CAD on Friday next week. I'll tell you more about that Friday next week because that's 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m. on Friday next week. So quite straightforward here looking at the CAD. I think that it's going to be highly direction on the US CAD is going to be highly dependent on the way the dollar moves rather than the way the CAD is going to move. So here looking at the dollar index, we were talking about this yesterday, saying that as the dollar index was coming towards that sitting at that 97.88 level, sorry about that, 97.88 level, I was anticipating yesterday that it's going to climb back up towards that 98.27 and that 98.44 level. As I was sharing with our Traders Club members last night, I was anticipating the dollar index to come towards this point and possibly bounce around this area for today, right? For today, all the way to the non-farm payrolls. And when the non-farm payrolls release with the good data, with the expected good data, then we're likely to see that move on the dollar index towards that 98, possibly towards even that 98 or 99 level. So possibly going to see in consolidation now for today, and then later or early in the evening, we're going to see that move up towards that 99 level, given that we see good data from the non-farm payrolls. What this means is that looking at the US CAD, now that it is sitting at this 1.25 level, anticipation will be that if we see a stronger US dollar come into play, this would actually make it quite straightforward for the US CAD. Stronger US dollar, we're going to see the US CAD move towards the upside, especially given that it's found quite a strong support level at this 1.25 level. However, bear in mind that as much as we anticipate the dollar to get stronger, we anticipate the US CAD to move towards the upside. This, as I zoom out, is going to be significantly counter trend, right? You can see that since the 15th of March, for half a month, it's been coming down from this 1.2849 or 1.2850 level all the way down towards this 1.25 level. 300 pips move towards the downside. If we're looking to buy it up, this is going to be counter trend. You can still buy it up, but it's going to be a lot more cautious, about it. It's already bounced up once. We saw at the end of March, 28th of March, early this week, and then a slight bounce yesterday as well. So what I would anticipate here, given that we see a stronger dollar because of the non-farm payrolls number, what we could be looking for here later into the night or later into the day will be a buying opportunity. I would say be a little bit more conservative. You will look to enter at above 1.2515, above 1.2515, stop loss about 25 pips, take profit level close to that 50 level, 50 pip level towards 1.2571. you're looking at close to 1:2 risk reward ratio towards the upside. Bear in mind that I'm going to keep this period very tight, because this is going to only be driven by the non-farm payrolls news release. If we don't see a stronger data coming from non-farm payrolls, if we don't see that dollar index push significantly higher towards the upside, then when this is going to be an invalid trade idea. But given this move, we're looking for that push above 1.2515 towards the 1.2570 resistance level, a buying opportunity on the US CAD. If we do see the US CAD break lower, I would most advise to stay out of it, right? Why stay out of it? Some of you might be looking to sell it down, but there is only about a 60 pip move towards the downside at the very maximum, right? At the very maximum, a 60 pip move. But you can see that was a very big tail that just dropped and bounced straight back up. If you're lucky, you would be able to catch that, but most often it will be somewhere in between here where it starts bouncing back up. We've just seen that bounce off from this 124.65 level. It bounced off at 124.32 level. It's bounced off at 124.64-65 level again. So quite likely to bounce anywhere from 124.65 to 124.30 level. If you were to sell it down, you would have to closely manage this, maybe on the H1 or M15 time frame. I think that it wouldn't be worth trying to sell it down. Look for that bounce for that upside potential. Just again to highlight why I think that is, if you look at it on a daily time frame, you can see that in Jan this year, we actually saw it bounce off this level several times and that big retracement. What we're looking for here is a similar move for that strong bounce off this 1.25 back up towards the recent high points. Again, in November last year, we saw it react at this 1.25 level for that big upside move. So be very careful at this 1.25. Look for that counter trend. Look for that non-farm payroll number, the dollar strength coming into play. If only it breaks above this 98.47 level. All right. So that said about the dollar index and the US CAD. Just doing a quick review before we jump into the cryptocurrencies. We spoke about Euro Yen last night and yesterday as well. So Euro Yen, oops, take that away. Euro Yen on, not the daily, on the H4 time frame. We spoke about this last night, looking for a buying opportunity as it bounced off that 134.96 level. If Traders Club members, if you were on that trade, you'll be in the money now. I think that we could see further upside, so monitor that trade. If it comes close to 135.95, look at it closely. If it's going to continue towards the upside, you could hold on to it. If not, close it out. And that view of it breaking 136 or 137 for further upside is still valid. Another review was on the US yen. US yen, last night we were looking to see whether it's going to go counter. It didn't happen. So that trade would have been taken out, but it's coming close towards our analysis from yesterday to break above that 123 level. If it does, and it's coming very close now, if it does break above 123 towards the 123.20, you could still be looking for that big upside potential towards the recent high of 124.70, right? So a couple of trades that are in the money already and a couple of setups that we spoke about, and it's still valid. It's coming towards that trade idea, that trade activation. Watch out, have it high on your watch list there. With that said about the USD and Euro Yen and CAD, looking at some of the cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, the last time I spoke about it, last week, I was looking to see if it would turn down from this 44,595 level. It didn't. It actually broke higher towards that 48,140 level. but it's found that top and it's now retraced back down. So this view, it's quite straightforward, just shifting this arrow across now, still looking for that retrace or that correction down from 44,611, looking for it to break lower. If you're looking to trade this down, then you could look to sell. If you are more long-term on the cryptocurrencies, then for every dip, you're looking at buying opportunities. So you can look to, look for that bounce to buy, or look for that drop to buy for that bounce back up. I think that if it does close below this point, we're going to see significant downside, possibly towards that 41,000 level. So that's it. Last is the Ethereum. We're talking about further upside as it broke above this 3,100 and almost 3,200 level. It went same move, same pattern to how the Bitcoin was moving, how prices on Bitcoin was moving. It rejected 3,389 and now it's coming down. I think again 3,195 is that number. Looks like it's going to come towards this point and break lower. I would say if you haven't bought already, stay out right now. I think we might see further downside, possibly towards 3,115 before we see another bounce back up again. So with all that said, Traders Club members, if you have any questions, put it into the platform. We'll be there answering your questions, trade reviews, trade ideas, put it in there. We'll review it together. And if you haven't joined the Traders Club already, make sure you sign up right now. With that said, not a lot of trades to be happening from this afternoon to non-farm payrolls, and then a couple of activities for non-farm payrolls. And then I hope you have a great weekend. Trade safe, trade well, take care. Bye-bye now.